Let's bring in Pauline Hanson from One Nation. Pauline, welcome to the program. Happy
Thanks,
New Year.
Chris.
Happy New Year and congratulations.
Same to you, Chris. Thank you very much, and same to everyone out there. Thank you very much. I feel in so many ways vindicated, but I know that my work has now started for me to prove to people that we are worthy of their support, their vote, and to keep putting out common sense policies and speaking up for them.
This has never happened before. One Nation polling ahead of the coalition. What does that tell you about how angry and disconnected voters feel right now?
Because they've had enough. They're finally saying we've got someone else now that we can vote for. They never did before because the major political parties kept putting down minor parties that put their head up. But because I've been around for the last 30 years and I've stuck with and I haven't given up, that's why people are seeing that One Nation is a party they can vote for. We've put out common sense policies. I've led the way on many policies, Chris, that the coalition didn't have the guts to actually stand up and fight for this country or the Australian people. And now it's showing. But, Chris, these are only polls. You know, the real test is at the ballot box.
So how will you try and capitalise on this? Is it time to go and grab more donations from somewhere to try and make sure you've got more candidates in more seats? How will you try and capitalise this on this juggernaut?
Chris, we stood 150 candidates the last election, so we've got fantastic candidates that are coming forward to be representatives for the party. So it's not about that. You know, we've got a battle to fight the major political parties at the election for campaign donations or funding, which they've put a cap on that now, which comes in play of June 30th this year.
That's right.
So we've actually got to prove to people we do have the common sense policies, what they want to see. People have to ask themselves, are you better off now than what you were in the past? Do you believe there's a future for your children in this country? Do you see them ever owning their own home? Can you see that you're going to be looked after when you've reached that old age and you need that care and attention? Are you secure in your job? Do you believe that your kids are being brainwashed in the educational system? All these questions. Mass migration, has it really helped our country? You know, do you want to bring people in that don't want to assimilate, who hate our culture, our way of life? These are things people need to ask themselves. Then ask yourselves, can you see the answers coming out of the major political parties? And I can't.
No, and I actually think that your policy standpoint on mass immigration has been the real winner, the real driver, based on what we've seen out of the news poll. And then you've got what happened at Bondi, and the connection is obvious, which puts you in, the jockey position out front on an issue that people care about.
Chris, what people should know about me is I don't just talk the rhetoric, that I actually will do. You know, I'm a doer.
Yeah.
You know, don't give me false promises and say you're going to do this, as Albanese has about pulling back on migration. Even the coalition lacks in doing it. So people want action. You know, the escalating crime that's happening in our country, why? You know, this hate speech laws, why deal with the issue when we've got laws in place that we can?
Yeah.
Governments have been reluctant to actually do anything about it. It's there. Why did we allow the Palestinian protest marches go on week after week? Why did we allow them to fly the flags, the hate speeches? Why did we allow them, those protesters, to get on top of the building and fly the flag of this terrorist organisation? So it's about the people we have allowed into the country. That's where we should have been dealing with it, not trying to deport them after being in the country, where they go and appeal to the High Court and then have it overturned, which sets a precedent.
And here we are this week. We're going to be focusing on new gun laws, and we're going to be focusing on a new legislation related to hate laws. We don't need to be focusing on any of that. We should be focusing on the two words that the Prime Minister cannot articulate, which is Islamic extremism. Correct.
You're spot on. And that's what I've said from the beginning. It's just that he's got to save face, and he's pointing the whole thing to the gun laws. You've got law-abiding Australians, farmers, sporting shooters, different ones out there who are going to be persecuted because of this, because he can't say it, is radical Islam. That's our problem in this country. And he hasn't got the guts to do it or the backbone to stand up and call it out for what it is. these laws are going to impinge on Australians to show pride in their country, to say they're proud Australians, to fly the flag, because that'll be seen as hate speech, because you're going to demoralise anyone else that's migrated to this country, so they don't feel a part of it. The impact that these laws will have on ordinary Australians, and this is why I cannot support it, and that's why I've led the charge on the reasons why. Again, another piece of legislation, as I did with the Voice, that it's not in our best interests.
Yeah, you're on fire at the moment. Congratulations on the numbers. I know there's only one poll, but it still is an indication of where people are going, and they're preferring to hear from you as opposed to the major parties. It is a reflection of what we've actually seen in the UK as well. Thank you so much for your time. I hope you... When do you get back into Parliament? When's this penalty over and done with?
I've got another 4 days. That's 2 days this week. That Parliament's standing today and tomorrow. I will be down in Canberra today and tomorrow, and I've got 2 days of the first sitting week in February. Okay. I won't be able to attend. I did write to the Prime Minister asking me to be allowed back into the Parliament. He said that's up to the Senate. My God, he's the leader of the government. And as if he just backpedaled and he handed it over to the Senate. So anyway, they have no intentions. They don't want me there, Chris, to debate these issues that I've led the way on. But anyway, that's it is what it is. I don't regret what I did. It's a shame the timing is at this point when this has all happened on day. But anyway, I'll keep fighting on.
Yeah, we'll see you in the Senate very soon. Thank you so much for your time, Pauline.
Thanks, Chris. Bye.